Yesterday was awesome. We went to Epcot all together, and I'm always told Epcot's the least fun of the parks, but it was fantastic. We had such a great day. Everyone was happy. There was no dramas. We enjoyed all the rides, and it was brilliant. We got there quite early. I'd made a bit of a mistake with this one because we booked really early rides, and then we booked the fireworks show in the night. So we had to get there super early. When we arrived, we pulled up in the car park. I didn't take a picture of the number. I took a picture of we were in car park C, and we went and queued for the buggies that take you to the front. Now, we must have waited for probably 5-10 minutes, spent a few minutes getting on the buggy and waiting for it to go, and it literally just went, "You've arrived," and we were just like, why didn't we walk it? And I don't know, we were just so used to getting out, getting in a buggy and going. We didn't even look at where we were, what we were doing. We felt a bit silly, but it didn't matter. When we got there, the first ride we had to go on was the Frozen Ever After ride. Now, again, little mistake, nothing major, but little mistake. It's right at the back of the park. So we walked in the door, I got the map out and went, okay, we need to be in Norway up here. We had to walk the entire length of the park to get to Norway. Fortunately, the fast pass queue was very short. We just went straight in, got on the ride. It was fun. It was a nice ride. It's what I find odd. So they have a system where you can pick one of maybe 5 rides to go on, and if you pick one, it blocks the others out. You can't get a fast pass on them, and you have to pick something else. And once you've been on all 3, you can then pick some of the other ones on the list. So I picked Frozen, firstly because I thought Lampup still liked it. She then claimed she doesn't, although she did enjoy the ride. And secondly, because everyone said it was their big new ride, and I thought, okay. It was similar to like the Peter Pan ride and the Nemo ride and this, that and the other, where it was just, you go around, they sing songs from the film, you see the characters. So it was fun, it was lovely, but I kind of was surprised that it was a premium ticket ride. The queue wasn't that long for normal. If you didn't have a fast pass, it was like half an hour, but it was good. We got off that. It was basically Olaf singing Elsa and Anna's songs, and Elsa singing other. It was weird, it was confusing actually. They were all singing each other's songs, but it was a lovely, beautiful ride, as you can imagine. What else did we do then? So we went from Frozen to, it was the Pixar Short Film Festival, and again, considering it was a brilliant, perfect day, there was I'd made lots of little mistakes on the planning. So I got a fast pass for the Pixar Short Film Festival. We went through the fast pass queue. It joined with the normal queue. We all had to wait in a big lobby, and then we all got to go into a big auditorium cinema room where there were so many seats, it just didn't matter. And I kind of thought, I shouldn't have booked a fast pass for this either, really. So that felt a little bit silly, but again, it didn't matter. That was awesome. They did a little, it was called Get a Horse, a cartoon about, is it Pete, the big angry bear thing that tries to steal Minnie from Mickey all the time? Basically, that bursts out the screen and goes 3D colour and all sorts. It was awesome, and Bosco was asking me whether they were real, and I obviously told him they were, and that sort of thing. They showed a little video about a little bird called Piper, which I think I've seen before. I'm trying to think, it must have been before one of the Pixar films, but it was good anyway. It was like trying to catch all the little clams under the water, under the sand as it grew older. And then there was an awesome little one called Feast about a dog that eats a lot of food, and it's just funny. So that was good. That was a good time sort of to just sit there and watch. The kids enjoyed it. They gave it thumbs up. And then we went on, it was Spaceship Earth, which the fast pass queue for that was really long, like really long. I was surprised. That seemed to be, I guess it's right in the entrance. So we'd gone all the way to the back of the park and then worked our way all the way back to the front in the space of an hour and a half. So the queue for that was enormous, but it went through pretty quick because I guess it always moves, so people just get on and go through it all. I sat with Bosco and we're going along, and I'm just looking at things and I'm thinking, okay, there's a caveman, there's an Egyptian. I'm like, there should be more to this ride. And I can hear noise behind me, and I'm going to Mrs. Sheepdog, have you got your TV on? Because ours isn't on. And she's like, no, mine's not on either. And then we're going a bit further, and I said to her, is this broken? Because there's this like, I think it's German, just going on and on in my ear. I said, I think it's coming from your car. And she was like, no, mine's talking English. And I'm like, but how's this talking German? looked down at Bosco, and he'd been poking the screen before I sort of got on and registered, and he told the ride we were Germans, and it basically the whole way around it's going. So I'm sat there just like, I can't believe he's done this, you plonker. And he's like, sorry, I'm like, I don't mind. It's just ridiculous. Like, I'm not annoyed or anything. It's just like, oh look, they've invented the newspaper. So when we got to the end, I said to one of the Disney guys, I was like, our ride was in German the whole way around. And their staff, I don't know if they're trained to mollycoddle everyone, but he was like, oh no, would you like to go on again? And I just said, yeah, go on then. And Bosco didn't want to, so Lamp Up came on with me, and she was talking me through it, and we had it in English, and it was much better in English. It was quite funny that at the end it was asking all these questions in German, and I was just pressing any old thing, and it shows you your future. And so mine and Bosco's future, we were swimming in space drinking martinis or something, and in mine and Lamp Up's future, we were in our environmentally friendly house that had carpets made of grass, and our cars ran on green fuel and stuff like that. So I've got both of them emailed across to me as pictures, which are quite awesome. What did we do after that? I made notes above, so I'm not just looking up randomly to think. We went to the Electric Umbrella, which is a restaurant. We've not bought anything in the Disney restaurants before, mainly because we thought it would be ridiculously expensive. But to be honest, it was like, I don't know, maybe $10 more than what we were spending normally on lunch for the 6 of us, which isn't much per person more. And you got free refills on your drink, which I didn't realise at first. I just went and did it because I was like, and then I thought I better check. And once I knew you could, I drank so much Coke, full fat Coke, that I suddenly, it's like, I don't know, my shoulders just suddenly went, oh, and I was like stretching out, and I thought, I feel so awake, I feel so alive. So I drank more and more, because I was just like, maybe that's what I've been missing. We've been drinking so much water on our way around the park every day. I think I detoxed from sugar and caffeine. I nearly said cocaine then. I don't do cocaine. Caffeine is what I meant to say. So yeah, I've had very little caffeine since I got here, and very little sort of sugary drinks. So having that again, I was just like, whoa! It was like Popeye eating spinach. So then after we'd eaten, we went to the Nemo ride, which is you sat in a clam and you went round and saw all the characters from Nemo, which again Bosco loved. He thought it was amazing. He's waving at them and talking to them and stuff. When you get off that, you come into an aquarium. The aquarium had rescue creatures, so it had like 3 rescue dolphins, a couple of rescue manatees, a shark and a turtle, and a load of fish. And I think I have seen dolphins from afar before, but never sort of up close swimming around in their big tank. They made a big deal about how they were definitely rescues and being looked after, and they were happy and stuff. You never know how true that is, especially in this day and age, but I mean, hopefully they're alright. I'm going to take their word for it. I think people would rake them over the coals if they weren't being looked after. It feels difficult knowing whether they are or not, or thinking about that. I wish I could just enjoy it. The kids loved seeing the dolphins, and there was a diver in there that waved, and Kirsty took a film of the diver waving at us. Yeah, that was really nice. And then we'd booked to go on the test track ride, which is where you design a car and then you drive it around or something. I don't really get it. It's sponsored by Chevrolet, I think, and so it's like a bit of a car advert. But when we got there, they'd closed it due to inclement weather. It had been the hottest day of the year so far. It was completely clear skies, but in the distance you could see lightning, so they turned it off. And that lightning never came to us. It never realised. It never came through. But it did mean that our fast pass for that got swapped with you can go on anything you want within this hour. You don't even have to book it. You just turn up. So I was like, well, we should go on Soarin'. Soarin's like the big one everyone talks about. They say go on Frozen or Soarin', book them first. And I'd quickly looked at Soarin' and thought it was a roller coaster and that my family wouldn't like it. So I'd booked Frozen. But when so the ladies all went on Soarin' while I waited with the boys. And they come off going, that was so good. And they told me to take Bosco on it. They said, Bosco will love it, take him on it. He come to the doorway and then he just freaked out and said he didn't want to go on it. And I kept trying to explain to him it was just sitting in a chair. They referred to it as being like sitting on a swing that doesn't really move. So he absolutely lost his mind because he was so freaked out about the thought of flying and all of this stuff. The ladies at the entrance are trying to explain to him that it wasn't scary. So in the end, I let him go back to Mrs. Sheepdog, and I took Lamp up on it instead. And my word, it was amazing. You sit in this chair, and I kept joking to her that I thought it was a High School Musical ride because of the word soaring in one of their songs. Let's put that song in my head, it has. But we were sat in these chair things, and it lifts you up. And it's sort of twisting you around and bobbing you up and down like you're flying, and you've got this massive sort of circular screen all around you. So when you look down, you're seeing the floor. When you look up, you see the sky left and right. It's all the things, and it just soars you through, mountains, ice caps, Egypt, the Eiffel Tower. I mean, it was so many things. You're going along, and like each bit was sort of intersectioned with, like, a whale would jump at you, and then as you come into the whale, it would suddenly clear, and you'd be in France. And then you got up the Eiffel Tower, and as you're about to hit the Eiffel Tower, it would clear, and you'd be in Egypt or whatever. You went above elephants in Africa. It's mad actually looking at it, because some of the things look so big, and you sort of think that it was all true to size, if that makes sense, or I assume it to be. Like, you saw a polar bear just jump into like water, and that looked normal size. The elephants looked huge though. It's quite impressive. There's an eagle. I turned to Lamp up to say this was amazing, and Bosco would have loved it. And as I turned back, an eagle flew at me and made me jump, and absolutely freaked me out. But it was such a good ride. It was worth going to Epcot just for that. But the day was brilliant. We then stuck around for a bit. We went to the Imaginarium, I think it was called. It's Imaginarium with Figment. Figment's a purple dragon. Another funny thing from Bosco with this one was we went all the way through the ride. It was all like about your imagination and senses and stuff. And then at the end, there's all these pictures and that, and then there's all these like photo booths, and you can sit there and have your picture taken. You could be like the faces from Once Upon a Time or whatever, like your face in their picture. And Bosco just sort of snuck into this booth and beeped his armband, and I ran after him, and all over it's written $5, $10, whatever. And I'm like, come out of there. So I jump in to cancel it, thinking I do not want this connecting to my account and charging me. And so I'm reading it all. I'm looking up here like this, and it sort of just goes, "Poof." And I sort of looked, and it said, look at the camera. And so the camera's like here, and I looked at it, and it went off again, and I was like, oh, for God's sake. And I'm like, ah. And then in the next picture, I'm just like, and then it just went through it all and brought them all up in this Tinkerbell frame. And I was just like, Bosco. And it said, did you want to pay for it? And I said, no, cancel. And then it said, did you want to save it to your Disney account? So I was like, why the hell not? It was free, so I pressed it. And then I felt a bit guilty because he could have had a go on it. It would have been fine. It didn't say any of these things outside, but he could have gone in there and had a free picture. He'd ran off to the next thing at that point and lost interest. But I looked on the app this morning, and I put them on Twitter. So if you don't follow me on Twitter, I'm at RV6K, and they're on there. It's just a picture of me looking up, trying to read the screen, and then looking down, realising what's happening, and then pulling a face because I'm like, damn it. Because I'm thinking, at that point, I'm thinking it's going to charge me, this is going to be so expensive, we're in Disney, whatever. But, I mean, even the $5 wasn't bad if it was going to print it out with a fancy frame around it. But, no, it made me laugh. It was another good memory. So he made me listen to a ride in German, and then he's made me have a picture with Tinkerbell. But, all good. We stuck around then till... I told my family that the fireworks show was starting at 8:30, and we'd go and wait for that. And then when we got there at 8:30, it said the show will begin in half an hour. We booked fast passes for that as well, which I think was a good idea. You got to go into a special cordoned off area at the front and centre, so everything was facing you. Technically, if you didn't want to save a fast pass, you could go anywhere around the lake and you would see everything. It would have been fine. But if you wanted to see it front ways on, like they're aiming the show at you, then you stand at the front in the fast pass bit. There was a queue for fast pass, so we nearly missed that. That was a bit of a panic. Nearly missed getting there early and getting a spot. But we had a decent spot, so we all went home very, very happy, and it was great. Yeah, I think that's everything we did. I'm trying to think if there's anything else we covered that I forgot, but it was just non-stop. We're all very tired today. We've actually pushed all of our stuff back. So we're going to Hollywood Studios today, Tower of Terror and the Aerosmith ride are the two we've booked, plus the Phantasmic show in the evening. I don't know if we're going to make the show at this point because we're all pretty tired this morning. But yesterday was fantastic. Best day so far. I think Typhoon Lagoon would have been the best day if I hadn't have blinded myself. but Epcot has been brilliant, so I'm looking forward to doing more. I think we've got 8 days left, including today. We're all going to be very blue when we come back. Anyway, thanks for watching. Subscribe, like, comment. I'm going to wrap this up now, and I'll see you tomorrow.